The divorce lawyer's office smelled like leather and disappointment. I sat across from him, watching his lips move as he explained custody arrangements and asset division. But all I could think about was how I'd gotten here. 3 weeks ago, I had everything. A devoted husband, 2 beautiful kids, a house in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Now I was discussing visitation schedules and who got the good china.
"Mrs. Hartwell, are you listening?"
The lawyer asked, his voice cutting through my fog. "Sorry, yes, every other weekend and Wednesday dinners." He sighed, clearly used to dealing with women like me. Women who'd blown up their lives for attention from strangers on the internet. Women who'd traded family dinners for nude selfies and dirty messages. Women who'd discovered too late that validation from anonymous men meant nothing compared to the love of a good husband. The worst part? Paul had been perfect. Not perfect in some fairy tale way, but perfect for me. He worked as a project manager at a tech company, came home every night by 6, helped with homework, gave the kids their baths. He still looked at me like I was beautiful even after 2 pregnancies had changed my body. He still grabbed my butt when he passed me in the kitchen. He still left little notes in my lunch bag when I went back to work after maternity leave. But somewhere along the way, that stopped being enough. It started innocently. My friend Jessica had been posting on Reddit's Gone Wild forums for months, showing off her post-divorce body, collecting compliments like Pokemon cards. She'd lost 30 pounds after her ex left her for his secretary, and now she was, in her words, reclaiming her sexuality. "You should try it," she'd said over wine one night while our kids played in the other room. "It's empowering. All these men telling you how hot you are. It's like being 20 again." I'd laughed it off. I was 30, married 8 years, mother of 2. I didn't need strangers on the internet to tell me I was attractive. I had Paul for that. Except Paul's compliments had become routine. "You look nice, honey." "Love you, babe." "Beautiful as always." The same phrases, delivered with the same tone, like items on a checklist. When was the last time he'd really looked at me? Not just glanced up from his phone to acknowledge my existence, but really looked. After our second child, Emma, was born 8 months ago, something shifted. The baby weight came off faster this time. Breastfeeding and chasing a toddler will do that. I started feeling good about my body again, but Paul barely seemed to notice. Oh, he said the right things, but his eyes didn't linger like they used to. His hands didn't wander with the same urgency. "Men get comfortable," Jessica explained. "They stop seeing you as a woman and start seeing you as mom or wife. It's not their fault, but it's soul-crushing." Soul-crushing. That's exactly what it felt like. Every day, going through the motions. Wake up, nurse the baby, make breakfast, get Jake ready for preschool. Clean, fold, stir, repeat. And somewhere in that routine, I disappeared. Lori the woman had been replaced by Lori the function. I created the Reddit account on a Tuesday while Emma napped and Jake was at school. Just to look, I told myself, just to see what the fuss was about. The Gone Wild section was overwhelming. Thousands of women posting photos, from tasteful boudoir shots to full nudity. And the comments? God, the comments. Men falling over themselves to compliment every curve, every freckle, every perceived flaw. "Absolutely stunning. Your husband is a lucky man." "Perfection. I would worship every inch of you." It was intoxicating. When did Paul last call me stunning? When did he last make me feel worshipped? I spent 3 hours scrolling, reading, imagining what it would feel like to be desired like that again. To be more than someone's wife, someone's mother. To be a fantasy. That night, Paul came home tired from work, ate the dinner I'd made, helped with bedtime routines, and fell asleep watching Netflix. Just another Tuesday in our perfect life. I lay beside him, listening to his snoring, and felt invisible. I took the first photo the next day. Nothing too revealing. Just a shot of my cleavage in a lacy bra I'd bought before Jake was born and hadn't worn since. My hands shook as I uploaded it. My username was anonymous, PhillyMom30. Generic enough to blend in, specific enough to feel real. The response was immediate. Within minutes, comments and messages flooded in. Men telling me I was gorgeous, sexy, a goddess. Men begging for more photos. Men describing in explicit detail what they'd do to me. I should have been disgusted. Instead, I was thrilled. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt seen. Not as Paul's wife or the kid's mother, but as Lori. Sexual, desirable Lori. I deleted the post after an hour, terrified Paul would somehow find it. But the high lingered. All afternoon, as I did laundry and made snacks, I thought about those comments. About being called a goddess by someone who didn't know I'd been up 3 times with the baby last night, or that I had spit up on my shirt. The second photo went up 2 days later. This time, a full body shot in boy shorts and a tank top. Nothing Paul hadn't seen 1,000 times, but through the lens of strangers' desire, I felt like a different person. The comments were even more enthusiastic. Men offered to fly to Philadelphia to meet me. They sent photos of themselves, videos of what my picture had inspired. By day 5, I was posting daily, each photo slightly more daring than the last. I told myself it was harmless. Paul and I were still having sex, more than ever, actually. My newfound confidence had reignited something between us. He thought it was postpartum hormones balancing out. He had no idea it was because hundreds of strangers were telling me I had the body of a college girl. The messages evolved from compliments to conversations, men wanting to know about my life, my fantasies, my marriage. I was careful at first, keeping things vague, but attention is a drug, and I was an addict. One user stood out. Bradley in Bucks. He was different from the others. Funnier, more articulate, less desperately horny. We started chatting regularly. He lived outside Philadelphia, was recently divorced, worked in finance. He said my photos were art, that I deserved to be appreciated, that my husband was an idiot if he wasn't worshiping me daily. "You're more than just a mother," he messaged one day. "You're a complete woman with needs and desires that deserve to be fulfilled." It was exactly what I needed to hear. The line between online fantasy and real temptation blurred quickly. Bradley found me on Facebook. Not hard when you know someone's city, age, and that they have 2 kids. His real name was Brad Kowalski, and his profile pictures showed a handsome guy in his mid-30s with salt and pepper hair and a cocky smile. He sent a friend request, and I stupidly accepted. Then came the messages. He messaged me there, said he couldn't get me out of his head. Said he'd love to meet for coffee, just to talk. Said he understood if that was too much, but wanted me to know the offer stood. I should have blocked him. Should have deleted Reddit, confessed to Paul, gone to counseling. Instead, I saved his number in my phone under Jessica and started deleting our conversations, just in case. The Thursday night it all came crashing down started like any other. Paul was working late, so I fed the kids early and sent him dirty texts while they ate their nuggets. It was our new thing, me sending sexy messages throughout the day. He thought it was me being spontaneous. Really, I was recycling lines men had sent me on Reddit. "Can't wait till you get home," I texted, along with a photo I'd taken that morning. "Damn, babe, those are perfect," he replied. Then, after a pause, "Just for me, right?" My blood turned to ice. It was a joke, right? It had to be. Paul wasn't the jealous type. He trusted me completely. "Of course, baby. All yours," I responded, adding heart emojis I suddenly felt sick typing. When he got home, everything seemed normal. We did bedtime, cleaned up, settled on the couch with wine. But there was something in his eyes, a question he was working up to asking. "Lori," he said finally, "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest." My heart hammered. "Okay." "Have you been sharing photos online?" The wine glass slipped in my hand. "What? Why would you ask that?" "One of the guys at work, his brother recognized you on Reddit." The room spun. Of all the ways I'd imagined getting caught, a coworker's brother wasn't one of them. My face must have given me away because Paul's expression crumbled.
It's true.
I started crying immediately. Not dignified tears, but ugly, snot-filled sobs. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, it didn't mean anything. I needed to feel pretty again. Pretty? Lori, I tell you you're beautiful every day. It's not the same. You have to say that. You're my husband. He recoiled like I'd slapped him. I have to? You think I'm lying when I say you're beautiful? No, I wanted to feel wanted, like a woman, not just a mom. You are a woman. You're my woman, the mother of my children. How is that not enough? I couldn't answer because there was no good answer. How do you explain that sometimes love feels like obligation? That familiarity can suffocate desire? That being someone's everything can make you feel like nothing? Paul stood up, pacing. How long?
A week.
How many photos?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Are they explicit?
Some of them.
He ran his hands through his hair. Jesus Christ, Lori. Our neighbors could see these. My coworkers, Jake's teacher, my boss. I was careful. Careful. My coworker's brother found you. The shame was suffocating. In my desperate need to feel desired, I'd risked everything. Our reputation, our marriage, our family's privacy. I'll delete everything, I said. It'll never happen again. Please, Paul. I love you. I love our life. I just got lost for a minute. He looked at me for a long, hard moment.
Is there anything else?
No, I lied. Brad's messages burned in my phone like evidence of a crime. You sure this is your chance, Lori? Tell me everything now and we can work through it. But if I find out you're still lying... There's nothing else, I swear. He nodded slowly. Okay, delete it all tonight and we're going to counseling. Yes, absolutely. Whatever you want. We went to bed in silence, him on his side, me on mine, an ocean of doubt between us. But by the weekend, things felt almost normal. Paul took me on a date Saturday night, just us, while his parents watched the kids. We laughed, held hands, made love in the car like teenagers. I thought we'd turned a corner. Sunday was perfect. Pumpkin patch with the kids, homemade pizza for dinner, Halloween movies on the couch. Jake fell asleep against Paul's chest, while Emma dozed in my arms. This was what mattered. This was what I'd almost thrown away for strangers' compliments. I love you, I whispered to Paul. Love you too, he said, but his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Monday started the same as any Monday. Paul left for work early, Jake went to preschool, Emma and I did our usual routine. But something felt off. No kiss goodbye, just a quick bye from the hallway, like I was the sitter, not his wife. A charge in the air, like before a storm. I understood why when Paul came home 2 hours early, his face carved from stone.
Kids are at your mom's,
he said without preamble.
We need to talk.
My stomach dropped. What's going on? He pulled out his phone and showed me the screenshots. Brad's Facebook messages, Snapchat notifications, everything I'd thought I'd hidden.
Anything else you want to tell me?
His voice was deadly calm. I burst into tears again, but this time he didn't comfort me. Just stood there, waiting. It was just talking, I sobbed. Just messages. I never met him.
Show me.
With shaking hands, I opened Facebook. Brad's messages were damning, progressively more sexual, more intimate. But it was my responses that made me want to die. Telling him how Paul didn't appreciate me, describing what I wanted him to do to me, agreeing that maybe we should meet.
You were going to cheat on me, Paul said.
It wasn't a question. No, I don't know, maybe, but I didn't. Only because I caught you first. That's not true. Stop lying. He never yelled, but he yelled then. Stop fucking lying to me, Lori. You told another man you wanted to suck his cock. You sent him nudes. You complained about our marriage, our sex life. You were planning to meet him. Each word hit like a physical blow. Hearing him say it out loud made it real in a way my mental gymnastics had avoided. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me." "I do. You're selfish. You're so fucking selfish you'd throw away 8 years, 2 kids, everything we built because you wanted attention."
That's not.
It is. That's exactly what this is. You wanted strangers to tell you you're hot, so you exposed yourself online. You wanted to feel single again, so you sexted with some random asshole. You wanted the rush of something new, so you were ready to cheat. And the whole time, I'm here working my ass off, being a father, being faithful, thinking I have a partner who respects me. The words eviscerated me because they were true. Every ugly bit of it. "What do you want me to do?" I asked desperately. "I'll do anything. Therapy, passwords, whatever you need."
I want a divorce.
The words hung between us like a death sentence. "Paul, please, think about the kids." "I am thinking about them. They deserve better than a mother who spreads her legs for internet strangers." The cruelty of it made me gasp. This wasn't my Paul, my gentle husband who'd never said a harsh word to me in 8 years. This was what I'd turned him into. "You don't mean that." "I do. I can't trust you, Lori. You lied to my face. You were ready to fuck another man. How do I come back from that?"
People come back from worse.
"People who want to. I don't." He left that night, packed a bag while I begged, took his pillow from our bed, and drove to his brother's place across town. I called him 43 times. He didn't answer once. The next 3 weeks were hell. Paul came by to see the kids, but wouldn't speak to me beyond logistics. His lawyer contacted me within days. No-fault divorce, joint custody, equitable distribution. Clean and simple, like cutting out a tumor. Jessica, my champion of sexual empowerment, dropped me like a hot potato when word got out. "I never told you to cheat," she said. "That's on you." Brad disappeared the moment I told him my marriage was over. Turns out he wasn't interested in a single mom with baggage, just a bored housewife looking for thrills. My mom watched the kids while I met with lawyers, each meeting another nail in the coffin of my marriage. Paul wanted this done fast. No counseling, no trial separation, just done. "He's seeing someone," his sister Rachel told me when I ran into her at Target. She looked uncomfortable, like she shouldn't be talking to me. "Some girl from his gym, 26, no kids. I guess she appreciates him. He seems different." Different. My steady, reliable Paul was different. Because of me. The house felt empty even when the kids were there. Jake kept asking when Daddy was coming home, and I never had the heart to tell him he wasn't. Emma, thank God, was too young to understand, but she felt the tension, cried more, slept less. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping, stopped feeling anything but regret. The Reddit account that had started it all sat deleted but not forgotten. Sometimes I'd dream about those messages, wake up thinking for a moment that Paul was beside me, then remember. 3 weeks. That's all it took to destroy 8 years. 3 weeks from "I have the perfect marriage" to "sign here to dissolve your union." The lawyer cleared his throat, bringing me back to the present. "Mrs. Hartwell, we need to discuss the retirement accounts." Retirement. As if I could think about the future when my present was ash. "Whatever he wants," I said. "Just whatever makes this easiest." The lawyer frowned. "You're entitled to half." "I don't want it. I don't want anything from him." It was true. I didn't want money or things. I wanted my husband back. I wanted to wake up from this nightmare where I'd traded everything for validation from usernames and avatars. After the meeting, I sat in my car in the parking garage, watching other people go about their lives. Normal people who hadn't blown up their families for Reddit karma. A couple walked by holding hands, and I had to look away. My phone buzzed. A text from Paul. "Can you keep the kids Friday night? I have plans." Plans. With a 26-year-old from the gym, probably. The girl who'd never stretched her body making his babies, never spent sleepless nights nursing, never needed strangers to tell her she was beautiful because she already knew. Of course, I texted back. Then, because I was pathetic, Paul, I'm sorry, I'll always be sorry. He didn't respond. At home, I made dinner for one, ate standing at the counter. The kitchen table felt too big without my family around it. Everything felt too big. The house, the bed, the future I now faced alone. Jessica had called it empowering. Taking control of your sexuality, owning your desirability. But there was nothing empowering about custody agreements and alimony. Nothing sexually liberating about explaining to your son why Daddy lived somewhere else now. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd wanted to feel wanted, and now I was wanted by no one. Paul had moved on, Brad had vanished, and even the Reddit strangers had found new women to worship. I was just another cautionary tale, another bored housewife who'd mistaken attention for affection, validation for value. My phone rang. Paul's ringtone. My heart leaped. "Hey," I answered breathlessly. "Jake left his dinosaur at my place. I'll drop it off tomorrow when I pick them up." "Oh, okay, thanks." "Lori?" "Yeah?" A pause. "Nothing. See you tomorrow." He hung up, leaving me holding the phone like a lifeline. Was there something in that pause? A softness in his voice? Or was I so desperate I was imagining forgiveness where none existed? I pulled up our wedding photos on my laptop. 8 years ago, we'd been so young, so sure. Paul in his rented tux, me in a dress that cost more than we could afford. We'd danced to At Last by Etta James, and he'd whispered in my ear that he'd love me forever. Forever turned out to be 8 years, 3 weeks, and 2 days. I closed the laptop and went to check on the kids. Jake was asleep, clutching the stuffed elephant Paul had bought him last Christmas. Emma was in her crib, tiny fist in her mouth, dreaming baby dreams. They'd be okay. Kids were resilient. They'd adapt to 2 homes, 2 Christmases, 2 sets of rules. They'd grow up thinking this was normal, not knowing their mother had destroyed their family for Instagram-level validation. But would they forgive me? When they were older and understood what happened, would they see a woman who made a mistake? Or a mother who chose herself over them? I kissed each of their foreheads and went to my empty bedroom. Our bedroom. Still our bedroom in my mind, even though Paul's side remained unslept in. My phone lit up with a notification. My heart soared before my brain caught up. Maybe it was him. Maybe he'd had second thoughts. Maybe he missed me like I missed him. But it was just a spam email. "Hot singles in your area want to meet you." I laughed, a bitter sound in the dark room. I'd had a hot single who wanted me. He'd slept beside me for 8 years, given me 2 beautiful children, built a life with me, and I'd thrown him away for pixels on a screen. Tomorrow, Paul would come for the kids. He'd be polite but distant. He'd smell like cologne instead of the sandalwood soap I bought him. He'd avoid eye contact when I handed over the diaper bag. And then he'd leave with our children for a weekend in his new life, the one that didn't include me. Tomorrow, I'd be alone in this house, surrounded by the ghosts of the family I destroyed. Tomorrow, I'd wake up and face another day of consequences. But tonight, I lay in bed and remembered what it felt like to be loved by a good man. To be chosen not by strangers on the internet, but by someone who knew all my flaws and wanted me anyway. To be enough, just as I was. I'd had that. I'd had everything. And I'd thrown it all away for nothing. The divorce lawyer had said the process would take 6 months if uncontested. 6 months to legally end what had practically ended the night Paul found those messages. 6 months to divide 8 years into his and hers. 6 months to accept that some mistakes can't be undone. 6 months to learn to live with myself. Outside, Philadelphia slept on, indifferent to my tragedy. Somewhere in the city, Paul was moving on. Somewhere, Jessica was probably taking new photos, chasing her next high. Somewhere, Brad was charming another lonely wife. And here I sat, in the wreckage of my choices, finally understanding the price of needing to be wanted by everyone except the one person who mattered. 3 weeks since my husband found my Reddit account. 3 weeks since I destroyed everything. 3 weeks into a lifetime of regret. But at least I'd felt pretty for a while. Totally worth it.